Imagine a day when your footsteps are no longer heard, when your voice is no longer present, and when your presence becomes only a memory in the lives of others. What will remain? What will echo in the hearts of those who once walked beside you? This question is not about material things, not about possessions, not about wealth or achievements. It is about the invisible essence we leave behind. It is about the silent energy that lingers long after we are gone. That essence is love. That energy is care. That is the legacy worth leaving. Every person has two lives. The first is the one you live for yourself. The second begins when you realize you are also living in the memories and experiences of others. How you speak, how you act, how you make others feel becomes a story that continues long after your journey ends. Some people leave a legacy of fear and pain. Others leave nothing, as if they never touched the hearts of those around them. But the rarest and most powerful legacy is the one of love and care. It is like planting seeds in soil that you may never see bloom, but knowing with certainty that the roots will take hold and give shade, nourishment, and beauty for generations to come. Love is not just a feeling, it is action. Care is not just an intention, it is presence. When you smile at someone who feels unseen, you give them light. When you listen with full attention, you give them worth. When you stand beside someone in their darkest moment, you give them strength. None of these actions demand recognition, yet they build a foundation that is unshakable. The person who feels your love will carry it forward. The one who receives your care will one day offer it to another. This is how a single act ripples into eternity. Think for a moment of those who once walked this earth. We often forget their names, their possessions, even their achievements. But we remember how they made us feel. We remember the warmth of a kind embrace, the gentleness of words spoken with sincerity, the silent support when we thought we were alone. These memories are treasures beyond measure, and they are proof that a legacy of love and care is never lost. The challenge is not in knowing this, but in living it daily. Every day offers countless chances to choose love over indifference, compassion over judgment, patience over haste. It does not require grand gestures. Sometimes it is as simple as offering your time, or as subtle as withholding harsh words when silence would heal more than criticism. To leave such a legacy means to align your thoughts, words, and actions with the values of kindness and care consistently, not only when it is convenient. Life moves quickly. The days pass like water slipping through the hands. What you choose to do with each moment shapes the story that others will remember. The world is not asking you to be perfect. The world is not demanding that you achieve greatness by comparison. The world is inviting you to be deeply human, to connect, to nurture, to be a source of love and care. This is the kind of greatness that endures. When we pause and think deeply about the idea of legacy, the first images that often come to mind are of material possessions, accumulated wealth, or grand accomplishments that leave a visible mark. Yet, if we look closer and reflect more honestly, we find that such things are fragile and temporary. Money can be spent, property can be lost, achievements can fade with time, and titles eventually lose their weight. None of these can guarantee that you will be remembered in the way you truly hope. What remains eternal, what truly transcends the passage of time, is the love we give and the care we show. That is the kind of legacy that cannot be stolen, cannot be destroyed, and cannot be forgotten. It is not stored in banks or displayed in monuments, but in the hearts of people whose lives you have touched. True legacy is invisible, yet it is felt. It is not built by grand speeches or outward recognition, but by the silent impact of your daily choices. The way you speak to someone when they are vulnerable, the way you offer help without expecting return, the way you hold space for another human being when they feel unseen. These moments become treasures in the memory of others. People do not measure your life by how high you climbed or how much you owned, but by how much warmth you gave them when they needed it most. That warmth becomes the story they tell about you long after you are gone. Imagine two people, one who accumulated wealth, titles, and power, but lived in a way that left others feeling small or unloved, and another who lived modestly but gave freely of their time, their attention, and their compassion. Which of the two will truly be remembered with gratitude and admiration? Which of them leaves behind something eternal? It is not the one who gathered treasures for themselves, but the one who planted seeds of love in others. This shows us that love and care are not luxuries, but necessities for a meaningful life, because they alone can outlive us. Love and care are also legacies that multiply. When you show kindness to one person, it rarely ends with them. That person often carries it forward, inspired to treat others with the same compassion they once received. A single word of encouragement can ripple into a lifetime of confidence. A single act of kindness can inspire countless acts in return. In this way, your legacy does not just survive. It grows, it travels, it touches lives you may never even know. You may leave this world, but your energy remains in every life you have touched, continuing to create goodness in ways unseen. The beauty of such a legacy is that it is available to everyone. You do not need wealth to give love. You do not need status to show care. You only need awareness and intention. Every day, countless opportunities appear before you. Moments where you can choose to uplift or ignore, to heal or to wound, to connect or to turn away. Your legacy is not built in one grand moment, but in the many small ones. The smile you share, the patience you show, the forgiveness you extend, all are threads in the fabric of your legacy. Together, they weave a picture of who you truly were and what you left behind. Even when the world forgets your name, it will not forget your love. The child you once comforted will carry your kindness into adulthood. The friend you once supported in their struggle will tell stories of your care to others. The stranger you once helped may never know your name, but will remember your spirit. These are the ways in which you live on. These are the ways in which a human being transcends death and becomes eternal. So let us not be deceived by the illusions of temporary achievements. Let us not measure ourselves by wealth or recognition. The real measure is simple. Did we love deeply? Did we care sincerely? Did we make those around us feel seen, valued, and supported? If the answer is yes, then we have built a legacy that no time can erase. In the end, true legacy is not measured in possessions, but in the love we give and the care we show, and that is what gives our life its highest meaning. When we think about the impact of our actions, it is often tempting to believe that only great gestures and monumental achievements can leave a mark worth remembering. Yet the truth is far more subtle and beautiful. It is the small acts of kindness, often overlooked in the moment, that ripple outward and create blessings for generations to come. A gentle word spoken at the right time, a helping hand offered without expectation, or even a simple smile shared with someone who feels unseen can become a spark that lights the path for others. These tiny sparks may seem insignificant at the time, but like seeds scattered on fertile soil, they grow into forests that provide shelter, strength, and inspiration long after we are gone. The beauty of small acts lies in their accessibility. Every single person, regardless of their position, wealth, or circumstances, has the ability to show kindness. It does not cost anything to listen with patience, to offer encouragement, or to show respect. And yet these are the very actions that can shape the course of another person's life. One moment of compassion can remind someone of their worth when they were about to give up. One word of belief can inspire a person to try again when they felt defeated. These moments are not just fleeting. They plant roots that deepen with time and pass on to others in ways we may never see. Think of how a single kind gesture travels. You encourage a friend who feels discouraged, and because of that encouragement, They rise again and move forward with strength. Later, they meet someone else who is struggling, and because they once felt the power of kindness from you, they extend the same hand of care to another. In this way, your single act of kindness continues to live, echoing forward, far beyond your sight. What started as something small becomes a blessing to countless others. This is the unseen power of kindness. It multiplies, it expands, and it outlives the one who first offered it. The world often teaches us to focus on what we will leave behind in. There is a truth that never fails to reveal itself in the journey of life. And that is the simple fact that people may forget the exact words we speak, but they will never forget how we made them feel. Language fades, conversations slip away, and even the most carefully chosen expressions lose their clarity with time. But the emotion we leave behind, the warmth or the coldness, the kindness or the harshness, remains engraved in memory. Our legacy is not carried in perfect sentences or clever speeches. It is carried in the emotional imprint we leave on hearts. That imprint becomes a silent story of who we were and how we lived. Think back to your own life and recall the people who shaped you. Perhaps you cannot recall every word they said to you, but you remember the feeling they gave. You remember the security of a caring presence, the encouragement that lifted you when you doubted yourself, the compassion that made your burdens lighter, or perhaps the hurt that left you broken when someone chose cruelty over kindness. These feelings have lived within you far longer than the words themselves. This is evidence that the true legacy we leave is not linguistic but emotional. When we understand this, we begin to see the power of every interaction. Each meeting with another person is an opportunity to either uplift or discourage, to heal or to wound. A single moment of kindness can echo for years, just as a single careless act of cruelty can scar a lifetime. This is why leaving a legacy of love and care requires us to be conscious of the energy we give to others. Our tone, our patience, our willingness to listen, our decision to show empathy. These are the unspoken languages that people remember far beyond our presence. It is not always grand gestures that people hold on to. Often it is the smallest acts that create the deepest impressions. A smile offered at the right time can make someone feel less alone. A gentle touch can bring comfort when words cannot. A look of understanding can remind someone they are not invisible. These moments may seem insignificant in our own eyes, but to another person, they may mean everything. They may remember that moment for the rest of their lives, and in that way, a piece of us lives on within them. What makes this truth even more profound is that emotions are contagious. The feeling you leave with one person does not stop there. If you give kindness, that kindness flows forward through them into others. If you give anger or bitterness, that too spreads like a ripple. This is how our legacy grows, not only in the hearts of those we directly encounter, but also in the countless lives touched indirectly through the energy we set in motion. By making someone feel loved, valued, and supported, you are not just changing their moment. You are influencing the way they show up for others in the future. There is also a responsibility in this truth. Because feelings endure longer than words, we must hold ourselves accountable for the impressions we leave. It is easy to excuse our behavior by saying, "I did not mean it that way," or "they will forget." But in reality, people rarely forget how you made them feel, especially when the feeling was deeply painful or profoundly uplifting. Every choice, every reaction, every word clothed in either love or indifference contributes to your legacy. And that legacy does not just belong to you. It lives within the hearts of others long after you are gone. This understanding should not create fear but clarity. It should remind us that our greatest power lies not in the things we achieve or the possessions we accumulate, but in the way we touch the lives of others. If people remember you as someone who consistently brought peace, kindness, and warmth, then you have succeeded in creating a legacy of love and care. If they remember you as someone who left them feeling invisible or unworthy, then no amount of wealth or recognition can erase that. The choice is always yours. So let your words be guided by compassion, but more importantly, let your presence radiate love. Let people walk away from you feeling lighter, stronger, and more valued than before. Let them carry a memory of warmth that remains long after your voice has been forgotten. Because at the end of everything, people may forget your words, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And that will always be the legacy you leave behind. Love that is felt but never expressed remains incomplete, and care that is only imagined but never acted upon carries no true weight. The power of love lies not in the thought of it, but in the action it inspires. Words can be beautiful, promises can sound sincere, but it is in the consistent actions of love and care that real legacy is built. To simply say you love someone is not enough. Love must take form in the way you show up, in the way you listen, in the way you offer your presence when it is needed most. Care must not remain an intention, it must be lived. That is what people carry with them when they think of you, not the words you said, but the love they experienced through your deeds. Life offers countless opportunities to turn love into action. It does not always require dramatic gestures or sacrifices. Sometimes it is choosing patience when frustration seems easier. Sometimes it is taking the time to sit with someone who feels unseen, even when you are busy. It is checking on someone who has gone quiet, offering support before they ask, or simply showing up in moments when silence and presence mean more than advice. These actions do not make headlines, but they etch themselves into the hearts of people in ways that never fade. To express love in action also means to extend care beyond those closest to you. The stranger you help on the street, the colleague you encourage, the neighbor you greet with warmth, these too are acts that build your legacy. Many times, the people who remember you the longest are not the ones who shared your home, but the ones who felt a spark of humanity from you when they least expected it. In such moments, your love transcends personal bonds and becomes universal, a reminder that we are all connected. There is also a profound strength in simple consistency. People often look for love in grand declarations, yet it is the quiet, steady acts of care that create deep trust and lasting memories. A legacy of love and care is not about one dramatic act. It is about thousands of small ones lived every day. When someone can look back and say, "They were always there for me," then you have left something eternal. To be reliable in your love, unwavering in your care, is to build a foundation that stands long after you are gone. Sometimes, expressing love in action means a caring presence carries a power that words or possessions can never truly match. In a world where many people feel unseen, unheard, or unloved, the simple act of being present for another can heal wounds that are invisible to the eye. When you give someone your full attention, when you choose to be fully with them in their moment of need, you give them something that no material gift can provide. Presence is proof of love. It is the language of care, and it becomes one of the deepest forms of legacy you can leave behind. Think for a moment of the times in your own life when you were hurting, confused, or uncertain. Did you always need someone to offer advice? Did you always want someone to fix everything? Or did you simply long for someone to sit beside you, to listen without judgment, to remind you through their presence that you were not alone? Those moments stay with us more vividly than anything else. We may forget the exact words, but the comfort of that presence remains alive within us. This is why a caring presence heals more deeply than any wealth or achievement ever could. We live in a world that celebrates doing, achieving, and collecting, but it often overlooks the sacred value of simply being there. A person can give money, they can offer gifts, they can show achievements, Yet none of these replace the warmth of a hand held in silence, the reassurance of eye contact that says, "I am with you," or the quiet strength of knowing someone will not abandon you when life becomes difficult. These are the things that people remember long after all else fades. They do not measure your care in what you gave materially, but in how you made them feel safe, valued, and loved through your presence. The true beauty of presence is that it asks nothing extraordinary of you. You do not need wealth, status, or power to give it. All it requires is awareness and willingness. In a world where distractions constantly pull us away, offering your undivided attention is a rare gift. To set aside your phone, your worries, and your business, and to give your time wholly to another person is to say, without words, every day we are faced with choices, and whether we recognize it or not, each choice plants a seed. Some seeds grow into love, compassion, and connection, while others grow into indifference, neglect, and distance. The legacy we leave is built on these seeds, and the garden we create reflects what we consistently choose. To act with love is to plant a seed that may bloom long after we are gone. To act with indifference is to plant nothing at all, leaving behind emptiness where life could have grown. This is why every choice matters, because it is not only shaping our present moment, it is shaping the way others will remember us. Often, we underestimate the impact of small decisions. We imagine that legacy is built only through grand actions or significant achievements. But the truth is different. It is in the everyday decisions, whether we choose patience over anger, kindness over judgment, generosity over selfishness, that we reveal the essence of who we are. People may not notice one choice in isolation, but over time they feel the pattern. If your choices consistently carry love, they will remember you as someone who cared. If your choices lean toward indifference, they will remember the absence more than anything else. The seeds of love are powerful because they continue to grow even when we no longer tend to them. A kind word today may inspire someone years later. A thoughtful act may ripple into countless unseen blessings. When you make the conscious choice to show love, you create something that is not limited by your lifetime. It becomes a part of the lives of others, who in turn may choose to plant the same seeds for someone else. In this way, your choices extend beyond you, creating a chain of care that continues long after your journey ends. Indifference, on the other hand, creates nothing. It leaves a void where there could have been connection. It is easy to believe that turning away, remaining silent, or choosing not to act does not matter, but for the one who needed your care, it means everything. When someone feels invisible, when they are left to carry their burdens alone, they remember not just the pain of their struggle, but also the absence of those who could have been there. That absence becomes part of your legacy as well, even if it was not your intention. Choosing love over indifference does not mean always having the right words or knowing exactly what to do. It simply means showing up with sincerity. Sometimes it means listening when you do not have answers. Sometimes it means offering a smile, a gesture, or a moment of presence that communicates you care. These choices may feel small to you, but to someone else they may be the turning point that shifts despair into hope. This is the hidden strength of choosing love. It multiplies in ways we cannot always see. Life is fleeting, and none of us know how much time we truly have. The choices we make today may be the final impression we leave on someone. Will they remember you as the person who gave them comfort, encouragement, or kindness? Or will they remember you as the one who was too busy, too distant, or too indifferent to notice? This awareness should not weigh us down, but inspire us to choose consciously, because every interaction has the potential to be remembered as part of our legacy. In the end, it is not perfection that defines us, but intention. If our intention is to plant seeds of love through our daily choices, then even when we falter, the overall garden of our life will still bloom with care and compassion. It is through these consistent acts of love, no matter how small, that we shape the way we will be remembered. Every choice you make is indeed a seed of either love or indifference. Choose wisely, because what you plant today becomes the garden others will walk in tomorrow. To live fully is not to chase endless recognition or collect possessions that eventually fade away. To live fully is to know that every step you take leaves a trace, not only on the ground, but in the hearts of those you encounter. What you choose to leave behind is what defines you when your journey is complete. A trail of compassion, kindness, and love becomes a light for others to follow, guiding them toward their own higher way of living. This is the kind of legacy that gives your life lasting meaning. When we walk through life, we all leave something behind. Some leave behind regret, bitterness, or emptiness. Others leave behind memories of joy, love, and warmth. The difference does not come from how much they achieved in the eyes of the world, but from how much they gave of themselves in sincerity. Compassion is not a quality that simply lives within us. It becomes real only when it is expressed. Each moment you extend patience instead of frustration, kindness instead of indifference, or forgiveness instead of resentment, you are shaping a trail that will be remembered long after you are gone. This trail of compassion is not only for others, it also reflects back on your own soul. To walk with compassion means to live with peace. It means to align your actions with your deepest values, so that when you look back on your path, you do not see only personal victories, but also the lives you touched. Such a life carries a sense of wholeness that achievement alone can never provide. At the end, you will not ask yourself how much you earned or how much you owned. You will ask yourself whether you lived in a way that mattered, whether you left behind something that continues. When we step back and look at life with clear eyes, it becomes undeniable that the only legacy worth leaving is one woven with love and care. Wealth fades, achievements are forgotten. Possessions pass from one hand to another, but the way we make others feel remains etched in hearts for generations. To live with kindness, to choose compassion over indifference, to give presence instead of excuses, and to plant seeds of love in every small act. This is how we write our story into eternity. A life lived with love is never wasted, and a heart that cares becomes immortal through the memories it leaves behind. So as you move forward, may your choices be guided by love, may your actions reflect true care, and may your legacy be one that inspires others long after you are gone. I wish you all the strength to walk this path with sincerity and grace. Good luck on your journey, and thank you.